21. Just 21 years old. My goodness, I could be her grandmother. 21. And so wise. A couple of weekends ago, I went to London, TEDx London Women. Hard to say. TEDx London Women. And when I say went to, well, you know how it is these days. I hopped on Zoom, was instantly transported to Abbey Road Studios, where most of the speakers were live streaming from. TED, that place of new ideas, fresh thinking, messages worth sharing. And then it happened. We were transported across the world to Australia and into the home of Clover Hogan. 21 and giving a TEDx talk on climate change. I have to confess at this point that I almost packed up and left the room to make a cup of tea. But there was something utterly compelling about Clover Hogan that kept me glued to the screen. She said, direct to camera, things that I hadn't heard associated with climate change before. She said people were suffering from eco-anxiety. She talked about the environmental crisis being a major cause of mental health problems. She said that young people think old people don't care about climate change. It's a great exaggeration. It doesn't really exist. We're in denial. She was kind to us oldies, recognizing that denial can be a place of great comfort as everyone goes hurtling towards the cliff edge that is climate change. Young people, on the other hand, she said, are confronted by dystopian blockbusters of environmental chaos, and they feel responsible. Even though they didn't cause the problem, they feel responsible. But then I suppose it is their future, isn't it? And in the face of such enormous challenges, they feel despair. Despair or denial. Either way, you feel unable to act. You feel powerless in the face of the challenge. Where do you stand on climate change? Despair or denial? If I'm honest, I'm in denial. I am. I'm old. I'm going to be out of here long before it becomes a problem. And anyway, I haven't got children, though I do know and love a few. And then this got me thinking about other enormous issues that we face. Brexit, coronavirus, politics. And suddenly, I'm 21 and in despair. How can we deal with these issues that I feel involved in? I feel responsible for. I mean, I've been voting since I was 18. I've traveled all over the world. Am I part of the problem? But whatever the case, it feels too big. I can't handle it. I don't know what to do. And what about all those other issues facing Britain in 2021? Health, the economy, education, immigration. Where do you stand on those? Despair or denial? These great big issues seem insurmountable, but it strikes me that if we can somehow bring them closer to home, make them personal, we can do something about it. I mean, if you think about people who have horrible, horrible health problems, look at how many of them become amazing fundraisers, campaigners, supporters, because it's personal. They've made it meaningful to them. So how can we do that? How can we bring things closer to home so that we can do amazing things and make a difference? Clover Hogan has what I think is a really good idea. Mobilise your mindset, she urges. Mobilise your mindset away from despair, away from denial. We can't control governments and politics. We can't control coronavirus, Brexit. We can't control these things, but we can control our mindsets. We can control the stories we tell ourselves. If I think of my story about climate change, what happens if instead of, oh, I'll be out of here, who cares? What happens if I think, what's climate change going to do to my future? What's climate change going to do to my old age? Wow, I'm starting to challenge my own story. Amazing. We need to challenge our stories. We need to change these big issues because the world seems one way. We made it that way and we can make it another way. We have to do something. What stories are you telling yourself? How can you challenge them? And what one single thing will you do to change your story? Thank you.